TheSmartLocal.com.
A lot of people think that eating disorder is just a physical issue. No, it's a mental issue, guys.
Yeah.
It's a voice in your head. And I guess a really strong support system around you, around any, I would say, patient, mental health patient, it's imperative in their recovery.
Welcome to the confession room. I just got diagnosed with bulimia last year. So it was an ongoing issue since I was 13 years old, but I only just found out last year because I decided to go see a doctor about it. Like, I realized it wasn't normal. After the doctor gave a diagnosis and everything, I would say I've had bulimia for, well, coming 8 years now. Bulimia is basically about binge eating, and the doctor just kind of suspected that it stemmed from depression. And it's affecting my daily life actually, but I try to get through it. But because it's so long, I'm so used to it, I just try to get past it day by day.
Hi. Thank you for sharing your story. After hearing it personally, I had flashbacks because I guess I have a similar experience with you when I was like 14. From then on, I was also very conscious about my body, having like body dysmorphic thoughts and stuff like that. When I look in the mirror, I think that my arms are the size of an elephant's thighs and stuff like that, you know? Could I ask, like, how is this eating disorder affecting your day-to-day habits, or like anything you feel like you do is not normal per se?
I used to be, or maybe I would say still, like branded as a body positivity influencer because during when COVID hit, I started to lose weight at home, and I started to cultivate better eating habits and also exercise regularly. I started posting those progresses on TikTok and Instagram, and that's how things started to pick up from there. And then I got a lot of compliments about how I lost so much weight and stuff, and how I inspired them to get through eating disorder because I shared about it. As time passed by until now, I realized like maybe I haven't healed fully because I thought I did. I was so at home all the time to the point that I really just had a lot of time to myself to really stay calm and be less anxious about what's going on around me and outside. I could cope with my eating disorder better. Relapses do happen every now and then, and it always happens when I'm outside with friends. Even the daily things that people say around me, like, oh, you know, I feel so fat today. When I have a skinny friend, it kind of like hurts me. And then after that, like when we eat later part, you'll see me like eating a lot because I know that I planned to like puke after already. Even if it's a normal thing for people, like for me it's a bit hard because when we go eat somewhere, like definitely I'll feel very guilty and then I'll puke after, unless we eat something like super clean.
Do you think like posting yourself more online has made you even more conscious about your body and like even more aware of your bad habits, or aware of like how you should look online in a certain way?
When I first started getting attention for my like weight loss and stuff like that, there were a lot of people complimenting, like saying, oh, you're doing great, keep going, you know. But I think like pressure really builds up over time, and also I would say not everyone's a fan of me. I was a bitch lah. so like as I got more attention online, like more people who dislike me also came online to like diss me and like say like I'm a hypocrite, or even like started fat shaming me. Like just say like there'll be like this handful of people that will notice my weight gain over the months, and when I post fitness stuff, they'll be like, oh, you know, I realized you let yourself go, like you gain so much weight. Or I'll receive comments saying like, you know, eating disorder is just a facade, like you are just like faking it, or like your personality trait is all about just you having an eating disorder. or stuff like bulimia doesn't exist, you created that yourself. That's the kind of comments I receive. Then I just like spiral all over again because of how insecure I was.
I totally agree with you about the comparison part, because I was from a dance CCA, so it started with me comparing myself, like my body image, my body size, to my fellow dancers, because I guess you want to look presentable on stage, right? But for me, I guess comparing myself with others made me feel worse about myself, in a sense.
Always.
Because all the dancers around me are like skinny and like, you know, lean and stuff. Then it makes you feel like, oh, why am I like not the same as them? And then that triggered me to want to lose even more weight. Honestly, when I was doing all this like restrictive eating and then like binge eating and puking, I honestly had a lot of social and physical repercussions, in the sense, yes, my health deteriorated, my voice was always like cracking because I guess I was puking so often, and I guess I was constantly dehydrated because puking is actually a way your body loses a lot of water from that.
Yeah.
And I get that's physically, and I guess socially I started missing out on a lot of like gatherings and activities because I couldn't deal with the food part of social gatherings, and eating is such a social activity for you to like bond with others. Like all these social and physical repercussions actually kind of pushed me to want to recover. Do you think like such factors ever come into play?
I mean, I would never miss an event. I'm a social butterfly. I'm a wild I'm a wild child. But at the same time, as much as I want to be there, whenever I'm there, you know, like that night there will definitely be repercussions I face, which is I'll definitely puke for sure lah. So I gotta prep myself for that. But definitely it doesn't feel good because I know that it's not normal, and I know knowing deep inside that I don't feel normal sucks. And I think talking about that, right, like what triggers me the most, when I was 13, I was in this like clique in secondary school. I wanted to be like the popular kid and stuff like that. I was very excited. Like I knew like, oh, you know, once I go there, it's like all boys, all fashion, all makeup, all beauty, everything, and like lots of popular kids. So when I went in there, like I thought it would be like sunshines and rainbows. But when I go there, the first friend I made, she happened to be really popular.
You feel a sense of insecurity right there, comparing to her?
Yes, correct. She was really popular. She was really skinny and really pretty. And then I was like always around her. Every time, like when I felt good that day about myself, I was being told that, oh, you know, you look kind of fat to be friends with her. Like you shouldn't be friends with her because I think you're very huge. And then I'll get comments from her. I remember this age in my mind, although it was 8 years ago. She said like, oh, you know, like I think you're quite pretty for an average girl. I feel like you can do better. Honestly, like if you lose a bit more weight, if you care about your image more, I think you'll be quite pretty. So I was being told that, and then like a lot of the upper secondary boys that hang out at her also would tell me like, you're very ugly, I would never date a fat girl like you, that kind of thing. That's when the puking started lah. And then now, like even when I face these kind of situations, because I do social media, right? So whenever a girl talks about her body image, and then like, oh, you know, maybe if you lose a bit more weight, it'll be better since you feel so bad, my first instinct is to swerve that person. I would swerve that person and I will try to avoid as much as I can. Because like, I don't think it's good for me to relapse again.
A lot of people think that eating disorder is just a physical issue. No, it's a mental issue, guys.
Yeah.
It's a voice in your head. And I guess a really strong support system around you, around any, I would say, patient, mental health patient, it's imperative in their recovery. So could you maybe share with me like how your support system has helped you maybe feel better about yourself in a way?
Actually, I spend most of my time with my partner, yeah, because he's very supportive. So we go to the gym together, then he'll make sure to like cook for me food that like won't trigger any.
Oh, that's so
puking.
sweet.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So we learn how to cook together.
But what about your family? Do they support you in this way?
My parents don't really know much about eating disorders. So I had to like kind of like beg my father last year to bring me to the doctor. Because he was like, oh, you're just stressed, there's nothing going on, that kind of thing. Then my mother's like, you use too much phone. Like that's the very standard answer. And like, but I was really a dying issue lah. So I told my father like, please, I really had to see a doctor. Like I say I need to get it diagnosed. I say I know I have bulimia, but I cannot believe it unless like I really go and diagnose it myself.
When you went to see the doctor, did you go alone to just get diagnosed, or like face the whole therapy or the whole treatment program by yourself?
I asked my uncle and auntie to follow me. They're like my second set of parents, so I told them about it. So they're the kind like, if something wrong must see doctor. My parents not really. So yeah, they brought me to the doctor lah. Then after the doctor diagnosed me and everything, then my uncle called my father. My uncle is my father's brother. He told my father, say, hey, actually it's quite serious, you better let her go and see a doctor. So subsequently my dad followed me lah. But now I'm better, so I decided to like not seek treatment anymore.
Personally, for me, I guess my strongest support system is actually the converse. Mine was my family. My friends is more of the school part because I got it when I was in secondary school. So in secondary school, if I wanted to restrict myself or anything, or like do habits that the eating disorder voice is telling me, I have friends watching me per se. At first, it was like instructions by the teachers. The teachers instructed the friends to like watch me, you know, because it's in school. Oh, definitely. Because okay, for context, I got it while I was at a boarding school program in school. Because I lost a lot of weight in the span of like 2 or 3 weeks. Like it was just like boom, and then I guess I was like fainty, like you puke so much or like you don't eat so much. I guess your body malfunctions, you know. And yeah, the teachers found out, my mom found out, and that is when how I built my support system. My parents brought me to the doctors and I sought treatment. For me, I didn't stop treatment. I continued on the entire treatment process. I went for therapy. I stayed inpatient, like I was in the hospital for months to recover from this. For me, the hospital treatment was actually a triggering point for me to get better because I hated the hospital so much. Like, I don't want to go back already. So I was like, okay, I'm going to get better so I don't need to go back there. It was like the thought in my head, like, no, I'm not going to go back there, so I want to get better.
I would say like what motivates me to get better is because when I first posted about my eating disorder, so many younger girls came to me, or even people my age, or even like girls older than me, or even guys came up to me telling me like, like, thank you for spreading awareness about this, because eating disorder isn't really talked about a lot locally.
I would agree.
Yeah, then they say like, oh, you know, please post more content on your fitness and what you eat in a day and like how you work out, so that like we can follow this also and hopefully feel better. I focus more on like fitness tips and how they can, you know, so I provide them with some training tips in the gym, or even like introducing spin, which is like my passion, like as a cardio for people to lose weight and stuff like that, so that they can do it like the healthier way. This motivates me to like get even better so that I can heal faster and I can give like advice on how I heal and stuff like that, so I can help more people. When I tell them the advices, I hope that whatever I say, which I know is like morally correct, I also believe in them as well.
I think with you being vulnerable on like social media, I think it's very like weighted of you in a sense, because I refer to like a lot of YouTube videos of people recovering from ED when I was in the ED, because I feel like I saw them getting better and it kind of inspired me to want to get better as well. So I think you're doing something that is very beneficial, very inspiring to those people who are suffering as well. So I guess on behalf of them, thank you. Yeah. An eating disorder recovery process is a very long haul journey. You have relapses, you have your highs, you have your downs. It will be a tough struggle and battle against yourself because of the triggering voice. I hope that one day both of us will come out strong and become like the warriors, you know, like out of a battle.
I'm ready to fight.
Well, your hopes for your future, man. Like after all this, do you have anything that you hope to achieve?
I hope to get stronger and like achieve the physique that I want healthily, and at the same time have like more food freedom, meaning I'm being able to eat whatever I want. Conquer all the comments that trigger me, especially when friends know me, you know, they say some stupid stuff that might happen to affect my body image. I hope to like be able to like block that out as well. I would say there's no like guide handbook, like a hardcore in stone guide handbook to say like this is what you should do in order to recover, this is what you should do in order to recover.
Yes.
I would say like take your time to internalize and maybe find the root cause on why this is affecting you so much. Like
even now, like you saying all this, that you recognizing that you need to get better is a great way forward already. And I guess as someone who has I guess I'll call myself like recovered. I'm proud of you, yeah, in a sense, and I hope like one day you can really get that food freedom, reach your physics goals, and maybe kind of spin class is on my bucket list. Yeah, then maybe I'll visit you. And I really thank you for sharing your story, because I feel like finally someone relates to the story. I guess like I don't really have people around me that I share like the story with. Or
I'm
stuff
pretty
like
sure
that.
there are many others.
There are many others, but I guess a lot of people keep it hidden to themselves sometimes. As you say, eating disorders might not be widely talked about. But I guess this is a good way to start talking about it, and I'm grateful that you shared your story with me.
Thank you for sharing me too. Now I know I'm not alone. And because you've like considered yourself recovered already, right? I would say like, since you can, I'm pretty sure I can do it too.
Oh, definitely. It might be a long process, but
I cannot cry.
Really. To a bright future ahead, guys.
Cheers.
Yes.
You probably had struggles with social life.
Yeah, I did. At first, the first few months was the hardest. I just went around Singapore like alone, because it's really nice to walk around Singapore.
Yeah.
Even though when you're alone, I got a lot of time to think.